Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video who is stalking baby Daisy. Today on General Hospital, Kai gets devastating news. Sasha and Michael come to an agreement about Daisy, and Liz confronts Christina over almost killing her. In Curtis' office, Portia tells her husband that she wishes she had told him about Drew earlier and tells him how much she loves him. They move in for a kiss, but Curtis pulls back and isn't ready yet. She understands she must earn his trust back and hopes she gets that chance. Jordan knocks on the door, realizes she's interrupting, and goes to depart. However, Curtis tells her to stay. Curtis says he'll see Portia at home, where they'll have more privacy. Portia heads out, and Jordan apologizes to Curtis for causing problems. He says she didn't, and he just got the news that Drew wants Aurora to write a hit piece on Michael. Curtis says he came clean with Michael and even offered his resignation, but Michael wouldn't take it. Michael even suggested he let Drew think he's won for now. At the hospital, Rick flags Isaiah down and is looking for Liz. Isaiah explains that Liz took a personal day, as Aiden just left for Europe with Lucky. Rick is surprised to hear about Lucky's split, but is also concerned about Liz. Isaiah says Liz can take care of herself, and he'll look out for Liz while Lucky is gone. He warns Rick, if he messes with Liz, he messes with him. Rick insists that Liz doesn't need protection from him. Josh, the documentarian, follows Trina and Kai around the hospital. Today is the day Kai meets with the doctor to learn if he can play football again. Trina hopes this documentary ends when Kai gets the all clear. Kai says it ends when Drew says it ends, and he knows she doesn't like the guy. But he does. He suggests they just agree to disagree on Drew, and hopefully they'll be celebrating soon. Kai and Trina meet with the doctor, who says his latest test results show that the titanium hasn't fused to his spine sufficiently to compensate for the original fracture. Kai asks, "That's it? I'll never play football again." Trina directs Josh to turn the camera off. Trina asks if Kai's condition can improve in time, but the doctor says this is as good as it gets. He can be involved in sports, just no contact sports, as it could be catastrophic if he got hit again. Kai thanks the doctor for everything he's done for him so far. Josh pulls up the camera to film and asks how Kai's feeling. Trina warns Josh that she will drop kick him and the camera out of the window if he doesn't stop filming. Josh says he's sorry and runs out of the office. The doctor also leaves them. Trina asks Kai if there is anything she can do for him. He says it's all over. There is nothing she can do. Trina believes he'll be able to move forward again, as he was after the initial accident. Kai says he was lying about being optimistic about a future without football. Since he discovered the surgery, he thought he'd have everything back. He wasn't considering a future without football. Now it's all gone, and he was so damn close. Kai apologizes for losing it and admits he's not used to being this vulnerable. He needs to get going, as there is something he needs to do. Trina thinks he needs time to process this news, but Kai insists he'll be fine. He has something to do, and he needs to do it alone. He says he'll call her and walks off. Portia out and tells her about his run-in with Rick, and that Liz is still hurting over Lucky's departure. Portia knows that sometimes feelings for an ex never go away. Just ask Jordan. At home, Liz speaks with Alexis about her accident. Alexis heard Martin pressuring her to sue the car company, and Laura asked her to talk things over with Liz as an objective lawyer, not out to make money, about the chances of a lawsuit. Liz appreciates the concern, but she's ready to put this behind her and won't be going to court. At the pool, Christina checks in with Cody, who is relaxing on a lounge chair. He says he's paid the pool manager to tell them when Ava books a pool day and she's on her way, so scram. She leaves. Ava appears, and Cody quickly unbuttons his shirt. He calls Ava over and invites her to sit next to him. She thanks him, explaining it's such a nice day that she thought she'd do some work by the pool. Christina lurks and spies from a distance. As she watches them, Christina gets a call from Liz, who tells her to come by her place as it's important. Cody chats up Ava and says this pool is great, but his favorite are the pools in Vegas. Ava loves Vegas, which gets them talking about gambling in Sin City. Molly appears and spots Cody talking with Ava. Alexis meets with Molly at the pool and comments that this isn't her daughter's usual hangout. Molly says she's been trying new things out, but not everything seems to be working. She vents to her mother that Cody cozying up to Ava doesn't sit right with her, as it's bad enough she's dating her dad. Alexis asks if she and Cody are friends. Molly says they have gotten closer, and he's been there for her a few times. Ava and Cody continue to chat, and Ava mentions Kiki and how they love to play cards together. Cody learns she passed away and is sorry if he brought up bad memories, but she tells him that she likes to talk about Kiki because it makes her smile. Back at Liz's place, she tells Christina that Lucky told her everything about the accident. Christina apologizes and says something in her just snapped. Christina rambles as she explains everything that happened, and she was going to confess if anything happened to her and Rick. Liz says that given they were only just seriously injured, she stayed quiet and let Lucky cover for her. She admits she was furious when Lucky told her, and the only reason she didn't call the cops was because Lucky would be charged as an accessory. Now, however, he's out of the country. Christina asks if she's going to turn her in. Liz says no matter how much Christina despises Ava, there is no justifying what she did. Christina knows, and she'll understand if Liz turns her in. Liz isn't going to, as her family has been through enough pain, and she's abiding by Lucky's wishes and will stay quiet. However, she warns Christina that if she does anything like this again, she'll turn her into the cops in a heartbeat. They're interrupted when Rick arrives at the door. At Drew's, Willow cries to him that this place used to be happy and filled with love, but now it feels empty, like her. Drew tells her this isn't over, but she tells him not to make any more promises he can't keep. Drew believes Michael will come around and compromise, but Willow doesn't believe so. Not after Michael throws her out after court, in addition to not seeing her in Germany, and then making up that story about Wiley. She shouldn't have fought Michael. She laments that he's too powerful. Drew insists he is the one who underestimated Michael, and he should have been more prepared. He made her promises and failed her, and he's sorry. However, this isn't over, and he's been talking to Martin. Martin suggests a tactic that might improve their odds. The timing isn't great, but the plan is for them to get married. Willow is stunned he's proposing like this, and now. Drew wanted it to be more romantic, but they don't have the time, as they have to prove to the court that they can provide a stable home. Willow went through this before with Michael to keep Wiley away from Nell. Drew says that was a marriage of convenience, and this one will be based on love. He won't overpromise again, but this gives them a fighting chance. Willow worries that the judge could see this as her putting Drew above her kids again and making another bad decision. Drew is sorry, as this wasn't the right time for this. Willow says it's just hard for her to think straight right now. And whatever she decides, it won't change that he loves her. He suggests she go get some rest. At the Quartermains, Sasha and Michael fawn over Daisy, and Sasha brings up running into Willow at the hospital. She is glad there wasn't a scene and feels so bad for Willow, but she is glad the kids are with him. Michael says perhaps now is a good time to discuss Daisy's custody. Now that the secret is out, he'd like to be a part of Daisy's life, but that is her choice. Sasha still wants to be Daisy's only parent listed on her birth certificate and raise her by herself. He says, "So you want to cut me out of my daughter's life completely." Sasha insists she is not cutting him out of her life. She wants Daisy to know he's her dad, but she wants to raise her on her own, without any help from either of his families. She knows it's asking a lot. He says he can live with her terms, but would like it in writing that he'll become Daisy's legal guardian if anything should happen to her. She tells him, of course. Michael reminds her that she'll always have his full support and whatever she needs. Rick is surprised to see Christina at Liz's. Christina notes that she was just about to head out and thanks Liz for her understanding. She says they are on the same page. Christina exits, and Rick asks what that was about. Liz tells him it's a personal matter and asks what he's doing here. Rick explains he stopped by the hospital looking for her and found out Lucky and Aiden are in Europe. Liz says she knew that was why he came by, and just because. Rick cuts her off and just wants to check on her. And as a friend, he's here for her if she needs anything. At the pool, Cody and Ava continue to talk about Vegas, and Ava thinks it would be funny if they had crossed paths there in the past. Cody is sure they didn't, as he would have remembered someone like her. Ava decides to get back to the gallery, and Cody notes it was great running into her. Ava says the same about him and takes off. Cody decides to take a dip, jumps in the pool, and sees Molly. They smile at one another. At Aurora, Curtis tells Jordan that Drew tore apart Michael's family, and Michael warned him not to let the congressman do the same to his. However, he feels it might be too late for him and Portia. Curtis gets a call he has to take, and Jordan steps out. In the hall, Jordan pulls out her phone and calls Anna to meet and talk, as she needs a friend and a drink. At the hospital, Trainer races to her mother's office, tells her the news about Kai, and says that he's heartbroken. She says this is because of Drew, and she screams how she hates that man. Kai shows up at Drew's house. He knocks on the door and tells Drew that the documentary isn't going to turn out the way they wanted. Finally, Michael brings Wiley and Amelia to see Sasha and baby Daisy. As they all gather around and smile at the baby, someone watches them through the window. On the next General Hospital, someone has to stop him. Drew thinks he can still offer Kai something. Jordan tells Anna that Curtis' marriage is on the rocks, and she doesn't know how she feels about it. Jason asks Michael if he's sure he's okay with this. Sidwell asks someone, "Do we have a deal?" Sonny rants that nobody threatens his family and lives. Someone approaches baby Daisy as she sleeps.